everyone, welcome back. My name is Melanie and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I want to share with you guys how I used to do my shadow and how I do it now. So this is gonna be like a hooded eyes do's and don'ts. This is just techniques and tips and tricks that I picked up along the way from watching girls here on YouTube that have hooded eyes, and I thank them very much because my shadow application is so much better now. So for my right eye, I'm gonna show you guys my shadow applications before. Mind you, this is how I used to do my shadows, and so this is based on my mistakes. This is from personal experience, so that's what I'm gonna do with the right. And on the left side, I'm gonna show you guys what I have learned so far, and I think it's working pretty good. I've been watching YouTube for a long time now, and back then they didn't really have a lot of videos about hooded lids, and or maybe, you know what, I wasn't just aware of my lid back then. I didn't even know there's such thing as hooded eyes, well obviously, but I just wasn't aware. You know, I would watch the girls here on YouTube, I would follow along with their makeup, and I'll do whatever they do to their lids, not knowing that I am placing my shadow in the wrong area on my lids. So it was bringing a lot of attention to my hooded eyes, and it's just, I thought it looked good. Okay, I thought I was doing so good with my makeup. I was learning so much with makeup application, not just shadows, just makeup application. I thought I was doing so good, especially the wing liner. Who's guilty? I'm guilty. When you have hooded eyes, wing application is just so much different than if you don't have hooded eyes. But I will show you guys the difference, and you know what we can do to still have our wings but not get carried away. Hopefully my action speaks better than my words, because I know I'm not good at explaining things, so I'm just gonna show you guys. I'm gonna stop talking. But before we go into our do's and don'ts, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and join my little family, and make sure you ring that bell so it will let you guys know for my future uploads. If you guys want to see how I use to apply my shadows and how I apply it now, then just keep on watching. So I don't have anything on my lids, I don't have no foundation or nothing on the lids, so we have a blank canvas to work with. So before we get into our do's and don'ts, let's go ahead and take a look at my hood. So I have hooded lids, I have uneven eyelids, and I also have puffy eyelids. So how can one girl be so lucky? You tell me. For those who doesn't have hooded lids, what does that mean? It means that my upper lid, you know, it folds over to my lid right here, and it covers most of my lid space. So I also have an even eyelid. You guys can tell that this one has more lid space than this one. Applying wing liner is a little difficult for me, so I have to make it thicker on this side just to make it match on this side. Up here usually is really puffy. It just really brings down my lid. When I do have good days like today, it's not so bad, it's not so hooded, it's not so puffy. It's still uneven, but I mean, I can work with that. Usually when I don't get a lot of sleep, which is mostly every night because I have a toddler who doesn't like to sleep through the night, so you know, I'm tired all the time, so my eyes, you can tell and see from my eyes. So the first thing that we need to address is our eyebrows, because we all know that our eyebrows is the frames of our eyes, and it does make a difference with the way you shape your brows. And I'm gonna post some pictures here of my brows. I used to have just a line up here, and I call that brows. Okay, I went through that phase like everybody else when you just over plucked your brows and you can't stop. You guys can't stop. When you start plucking your eyebrows, you can't stop. So if you guys haven't plucked your eyebrows yet, just don't touch it. Don't touch it. Bushy eyebrows is like the new thing now, so go with that. Embrace your caterpillars. So I had the line for brows, and then you know, I learned that okay, that's not okay. With hooded lids, you don't want your brows to come down too much on the outer part, your tail. You don't want it to curve down too much, because when you do that, it would just close off your eyes and really emphasize your hood, and it would just bring down your hood even more, if that makes sense. Obviously I have brows on already, but I am gonna tailor my don't to what you're not supposed to do. I mean, as you guys can tell, my brows does have some scoop. It does have some curve on the tail, but it's not too much like I would used to do. And I'll show you guys. Just have my tail, and I would bring it down. Already you can tell that it's just bringing down our lid, and on this side, as you guys can tell, it still have a tail that's, you know, kind of coming down, but it's not so curvy. It's a little bit straight, so I have, you know, that curvy eyes already. I would go really high up right here. I mean, I still do this sometimes, like the overly arch, but I don't bring down the tail too much like I have this one. What I would do is I would even hold it up here, so I know like it's really arched right there. I don't know if it made the difference, I just did it anyways. So I would just curve it more, like really curve it. So I mean, you guys can tell the difference with the brows, and it'll show more why you shouldn't do this if you have hooded eyes when we apply all our shadows. So we are gonna do that right now. So for my don't side, we are not gonna prime it, or we're not gonna set it with our, you know, with how we usually do it, with translucent powder or with a bone color shadow. We are not gonna do that. But for our do side, we are gonna prime and we are gonna set our lids, because by doing that, it will prevent our shadow from creasing. It will make it last longer. This is not just for people that have hooded eyes. When you're applying shadow, you should have a base and set it, because it just makes it better for our shadows, especially if you have hooded eyes, because as you guys can tell, our lid folds down, so you're really trying to avoid all the transfer. So we're gonna go prime and set our lid. I'm just taking my pink pot. You don't have to use a concealer, you can use a lid primer. They do have them. I do have a few of them, but I just tend to reach for my concealer. I'm just using my Too Faced palette, my chocolate bar palette. So for our do side, I am gonna apply a transition color. It just makes it better. It gives you a gradient of color, and it just looks better than just having two dark colors on your lids. I'm just gonna take a transition color and just apply that to my top crease. What I mean by top crease is I'm gonna make sure to pass my folded lids and go above that, and really we're making a new crease, so that's what I'm doing, and that's what I mean by top crease. And also bring it out this way. So everything that we're gonna do for our do side, we are gonna try to bring it out and up, so it would lift up our lids. It looks like our hooded is not so hooded. So that's why you guys, if you guys watch my videos, you guys can see that I always bring out my shadow. And because I do have a lot of space right here and there's nothing I can do about that, it's because I over plucked my brows, so they just won't grow. So I just have to make sure that I do bring up my shadow up here so it's not so bold right there. Oh, and another thing, when you are putting a transition color or crease color, make sure it is matte and no shimmer. We want to stay away from shimmer. I will explain why, but just on this side I am gonna use a lot of matte colors on my crease because matte shadows would give a lot of definition to your lids and it's not gonna highlight anything that we don't want to highlight. Look at that. I mean, you can tell the difference already. So for the don't side, we are gonna apply the same shadow, but we're not gonna go on our top crease. We're gonna stay right here where our fold is, and that's how I used to do it. I didn't think of putting it above your folded lids, so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm taking the same shadow, just go back and forth, and I used to just bring down my shadow, and you don't want that. And then I'm just gonna take a darker brown than what we have on our lid already, just to darken up our crease. Go back to my do side, and on this one I am gonna still go above that crease. You know, I applied most of the darkness on the outer V, and whatever I have left on my brush, I swept it in the inner corner. Now we're gonna apply that same dark shadow on this side, but we're not gonna go above our crease. We're just gonna stay where we applied our first shadow. You know, they tell you to stay away from shimmer on your lids, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So I'm just gonna put a shimmer shadow on my lid. On my do side, I'm gonna go and put it high enough where you can see it still when I open my eyes. So when I open my eyes, you guys can still see the shimmer. So for our don't side, we're gonna keep all the shimmers just on this small lid that we have right here. So when I open my eyes, the whole thing just disappears. When we put our liner, oh, it will just, my lid is just gonna disappear. I'm not gonna go above that fold that we have. There it is. I guess, I mean, you can still kind of see it, but not as good as if you bring it up past your hooded lid. Let's go ahead and highlight our brow bone now. Okay, this is where I messed up a lot. We're gonna start with our don't side. It's ridiculous how I used to highlight my brow bones. I am just gonna show you guys. So I would use the wrong brush first of all, and I would just go from inner to outer part. You can use shimmer if you have hooded eyes on your brow bone, but not like this, not like this. So I'm gonna take the same shimmer shadow and I'm just gonna apply that on the high points of my brow up here. I'm gonna bring it down here too, just to kind of, you know, even it out so we don't have just gunk on our brow bone. And just like that, it just highlights your brow bone. So for wing liner, it is so difficult for us that have hooded eyes to do wing liner because of the small space that we have, that we already have. If we do liner and we make it thick, it just covers all the lid space that we have, and it's just not a good look, really. I use felt tip liners because that works better for me and I have more control. But for our don't side, I am gonna make it thick. So that's how I used to do my wings, guys. As you guys can tell, it's not doing anything for my hooded lids. It's just covering the little lid space that I have here. I guess when I close my eyes it looks okay, but when I open my eyes it folds, like it folds right here. Now we're gonna move on to our do side. First of all is tight lining. Tight lining just add so much volume to your lash line. It makes it darker and it kind of looks like you already have a line on your lash line when you do that. So here I am talking and applying my liner. I'm not even recording. So what I did was I just applied the liner as close as I can to my lashes on the top right here, and that alone made our lash line looks darker. You can stop there, but what I would do is smoke that out, and also if you apply a darker shadow or a black shadow, really it would lock in that liner, so it's an extra protection. So I'm gonna take a black shadow and just smudge that. And if you still want that wing, just take your dark shadow and just wing it out here with the shadow. Make sure you guys try to keep your wing below your hooded area, and don't go past that little line right there because it folds in with your liner and it's just not a good look. So I'm just gonna take this and just try to do a little wing. Of course you can do this with a liner too if you want. I mean, you can bring that a little higher if you want. Just make sure you don't go above your crease like this one. And if you want to build up, make sure you build up from the bottom and just go out from that way. You guys can tell the difference. If I'm not explaining it right, hopefully I'm showing it right. Now let's move on to our lashes. It's important that you apply mascara to your lashes. If you don't wear falsies, just make sure that you try to get your lashes just, you know, the same concept with the cat eye. Make sure the end is heavily coated but not clumpy coated. Like I said, I'm not gonna care how I apply my mascara, so I'm just applying it whatever. And on this side, just make sure that you bring out your lashes this way, more so than just, you know, bringing it out like this and not really caring the directions of your lashes, because it does make a difference. If you do like wearing lashes and you have hooded eyes, pick one that has different length of hair. What I mean by that is I have two lashes right here. So this is our don't lashes. It is very dramatic on the front and both ends are the same size, and you don't want that. And then for our do side, as you guys can tell, it's more wispies on the outside, and then it's shorter on the inside. And that way, you know, it will give us the same cat eye effect. It's longer on the outside, so it would really bring up our eyes. So I'm gonna put this on and then you guys will see the difference. So I'm gonna put this on and I will be right back. The do side is more wispy on the outside, so it's really opening up our eyes, and it's not, you know, it's not dramatic right here or right here, so it's not covering our lid. That's why I don't do thick liner, because that happens. If you don't use waterproof liner, that's what happens right there. And with these lashes, it's just not doing anything for our hooded eyes. Let's go move on to our lower lash line and our lower lashes. Black pencil on both sides, but I'll show you guys the placing again. If you put it on the wrong place, it really brings down your eyes, and it makes it look really droopy. I'm just gonna put it right here like that. I mean, it does open my eyes, but not the way that we want to. So that's all I'm gonna do for our don't side. We're gonna move on to our do side. I am gonna apply the black liner on my actual waterline. I know they tell you don't put it all the way you know, in your inner corner because it closes off your eyes, but I don't know, I don't mind it. And then I'm gonna take the transition colors that we use and I'm gonna just blend the bottom. And make sure you guys apply mascara on your bottom lashes as well. And the last thing that we need to do, I'm just gonna add the same shimmer on the tear duct right here. I'm not gonna put highlights on our don't side. We are just gonna leave it as is. And there you go, guys. This is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. No, just joking. As you guys can see, there is such a big difference on my eyes, on how I used to apply my shadows and how I used to do my wing liner. Such a big difference. I hope that my action and my application show you guys the difference with how you can make your hood recedes just a little bit and not really bring it out too much like this one right here. Thank you guys for being here. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found this video very helpful. I hope you picked up some tips and some techniques here and there that you can apply to your makeup routine, and in no time you will master your shadow application. So thank you for watching, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful or entertaining. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and join my little family. So thank you guys for being here, and I will catch you on my next one. Bye guys.